Bonjour, Kinamagi and Ireland edition of Cuss, and welcome to this production of the My Math Network. Today's topic, divide whole numbers by unit fractions. Let's begin by looking at the results of our previous session, where we were using hands-on models, fraction tiles particularly, to do division with unit fractions. We found that 1/6, 1 into 2 wholes, 12 times, and you can see it here, and that 1/4 divided into 3 was 1/12. Over here, 3/4 divided by 3 was a quarter. We had 16 games. So many times 1/2 went into 8. Third went into 4, 12 times. So that's 12 batches. Half went into 6, 12 pieces. 2/3 went into 6, 9 times for 9 pieces. You're welcome to use the fraction tiles when you're working on these kind of assignments. I have a digital copy that is found in the Google Classroom and on our Padlet under the math. Let's look at where today is going. Dividing whole numbers by unit fractions. You can use these fraction tiles to help you out, but it's not a requirement. And you'll see that we're trying to figure out that 5 divided by 1/2. So 1/2 and 1/2 is 1. Another 2 is 2. Another 2 is 3. Another 2 is 4. Another 2 makes 5. And so there's, if you count them all up, there was 10. And so our answer is 10. And what's interesting is you can check that by going 10 times 1/2, which gives you 5. So use your checks. Furthermore, in the assignment, they'll give you 4, and you're going to have to draw. You'll say, okay, it's got to be in the 5th, so you need 5 strips, and that'll tell you how many are there, and then check your work using multiplication. So you'll take your answer, times it by 1/5, and if it comes out to something that's equivalent to 4, you did well. Down here, draw a model to help you solve the problem. You can draw it on the sides. You want your answer right in here. On this one, circle the model below that represents 2 divided by 1/3. Then write a division problem. So you're going to do both steps and a multiple choice. All right, so let's return to the title screen. Our essential question now is what strategies can be used to multiply and divide by fractions. So today we're still using a little bit of modeling, but a little bit of math as well. Both things are going to go into this. Let's begin in the part that is not in your book, the investigation. Use a model to find the quotient. So I'm going to come right to here. 3 boxes to model the dividend. 1, 2, and 3. Then I have to divide each one into quarters. So it means there'll be 3 lines in each section, so they get 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. And in all honesty, it won't matter if your pieces are exactly the right size, because we're just looking for counting. So that's where we get each one being a quarter. And how many sections were there in all? You could count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 sections in all. So you draw your whole number is how many boxes. This denominator tells you how many pieces. And then you count. I have faith in you in this one. If you remember those steps, you'll be really set for today. You can see that they went ahead and drew the 3 boxes twice. I wouldn't, because that's extra work. That's not necessary. So that's why I didn't. 5 divided by 1/3. Use fraction tiles to represent the dividend. Replace each fraction tile with the correct number of 1/3. All right, so let's kind of drag this up. How many pieces would make one? One. No, that didn't work at all. There's 1, 2, and 3. So if 3 of them make 1, how many of them do you think would make 5? Oh yeah, 3 times 5, which is 15. Um, but you should draw it out. 5, 5, 5 unit ones, divide each of them by 3. And that'll give you your 15. So those fraction tiles are useful, but I understand that it's difficult to find one that has 5 lines on it. Now, let's be honest here. So we need to use ratios. Justine uses 6 storage compartments. She fills the compartments with boxes, use 1/5 of a compartment. How many boxes does she use at all? So each one is going to be 6 times divided by 1/5. So 6 is 6 over 1. And what's interesting is if you're dividing by 1/5, it's the same as multiplying by 5 over 1. So to divide, what I'm telling you is you could multiply by the inverse. My wife used to refer to it as the KFC method. Keep the first one, the 6 over 1. Flip the second, so 1/5 became 5 over 1. Change the sign from division to multiplication. And then we get 30 over 1, and that's 30. So let me go ahead and clear the screen. Oops. And 30 boxes. All right, so let's get into the text with example basic. This is found on page 765. It's lesson 10. If you don't have this paper right in front of you, you should go get it. By pausing the video, go grab it, come back. If you can't find it, have a piece of paper to write with, because you want to create an artifact that you can use to look back on. There is a vocabulary word highlighted. A unit fraction is a fraction with a numerator of 1. And I know that you've seen this previously in this chapter. So let's look at example basic. We're going to work through it here. Here's steps 1 and 2 that are found on 765. A sports website has score updates every quarter hour. How many times does the website have score updates in a 3-hour period? So we find 3 divided by a quarter using models. The model represents 3. So you have a whole one, 1, 2, and 3, and it's marked there. Then I need to divide each of the 3 rectangles into fourths. And I do that by putting 3 lines, and I'm going to color different than green here. 1, 2, 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I've divided each of the 3 rectangles into fourths. So that's steps 1 and 2. Put them together. Go ahead and draw those in. I'll give you about 30 seconds to do that. Just a reminder, whenever I say I'm about to clear the screen or move forward, that usually gives you 1 or 2 seconds that you can use to pause the video if you need a little bit more time. It allows for a reduced amount of dead time, but gives you the ability to slow things down if necessary at home. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen. So let's move forward here, and you can see that they drew it in. And they did label that each one is a quarter, but not required. So there are how many fourths in the model? So you count them out, and we had 4, 8, and 12. Is drawn here. So put in 12. So 3 divided by a quarter is 12. So the website is 12 score updates in 3 hours. Let's go ahead and write in that number 12 multiple times. So that's step 3. Now all we'll have left to do is the check. You should have already had this part drawn in. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. And they did not make you do the check. You can check 12 times 1/4 is equal to 12/4, which is 3. And that's what we started out with there. All right, now go ahead and turn to 766. Let's do the example niche together. After example niche, we'll do the guided practice as a we, talk math, and then you'll get a chance to practice a few with the independent practice before moving on to the work. So here's just step 1 on example niche. Lisa takes 4 apple pies to her family reunion, represented here with 1, 2, 3, and 4 pies. Each pie is cut into 6. How many pieces of pie can Lisa serve? Find the unknown in 4 divided by 1/6. So my step, let's see what it shows me here if it colors it in for me. So once I go ahead and I put in the 6, it means I put 5 lines because it gives me 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to have 6 times 4. That gives you a hint. So go ahead and draw those in just like that. And I'll give you about, 45 seconds. All right, so let's move forward. And I've already done step 2, divide each of the 4 into rectangles. So let's just keep going. You've done this. Oh, where'd it go? All right, so apparently we're missing part of the slide here. At step 3, let's double check. Yeah, they totally cut it off. So step 3 says 4. So count the number of 6. There are blank 6 in the model. 4 times 6 is 24. So 4 divided by 1/6 is 24. So the unknown is 24. These can serve 24 pieces of pie. And 24 times 6 is 1/4. So go ahead and make everything else 24. I'll give you about 30 seconds. And then we'll go ahead and do the guided practice. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward. If you need to pause the video, you can. Guided practice. All right, here we go. This is where we're going to do, and by we I mean you, and then I'm going to go over it with you before moving on. Find the quotient of 2 divided by 1/3. Use a model. Check using multiplication. So follow the exact same steps that we just did. They've already drawn the 2 for you. Now you need to split it into thirds and go from there. You can pause the video while you do the work. Unpause the video and you're ready. You may pause the video now. Welcome back. Let's do it together. So I need to divide it into thirds. And if your artwork is not any better than mine, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see I have 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3. And it happens 3 and 3 is 6. I can check my work because 6 over 1 equals 6/3, which is 2. Notice that when I wanted to check my work of multiplication, I put my whole number over 1. Go ahead and make sure that's written in. I'll give you a few more seconds and then we'll move forward. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen. You can see that we did well. Why can you use multiplication to check your answer to a division problem? Long story short, division is the inverse operation. So it should undo what I did with multiplication, and multiplication should undo what I did with division. All right, it's time for you to practice. I want you to do numbers 2 and 3. When you're doing it, pause the video, unpause the video when you're ready, and then we'll see how you did. Go ahead and pause your video now. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. 4 divided by 1/3 is 12. You see that each group of 4 was in the 3 sections. You count them up. Check my work. 12 times a third equals 12 thirds, which is 4, because 3 goes into 12 4 times. I took 3 here, and those are the green lines. Divided each one into fifths. So there's a total of 15. I check my work. 15 over 1 times 1/5 is 15 fifths, which equals 3. Do just a couple more. Do numbers 4 and 5. Pause the video now. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. Each group of 6 was divided into fourths. You count them up, there's 24. 24 times 1/4 equals 24 fourths, because 24 times 1 is 24. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 goes into 24 6 times. 5 into quarters is 20 if you count them up. 20 times 1 is 20. 1 times 4 is 4. You get 20 over 4, which is 5. Realistically, you're seeing a lot of multiplying, cross multiplying here. 20 times, or 20 across the top divided by this. 24, well, here cross multiplying. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 4 is 24. All right, let's go ahead and into the assignment again. You can use the drawings where necessary. If you're in classroom, I expect that you will do the paper copy and turn it in. That way I can see your work. If you're at home, you have a couple options. You can put your name on both sides, scan or take a picture of it, and send it to me via text or email. Or you can use the paper and then write the answers into the Google form that's accompanying this and send me the papers at another time. If you have more questions, please reach out to me at mireland@sagchipschool.net. Have a minute, Gizigat. Minwa, Bama P.